Welcome to Date Yourself, the podcast. I'm your host, Amber, and no matter if you're married or single, I think the world would be a better place if we all dated ourselves. During this podcast, we discuss being unapologetically yourself, ditching the bullshit, and tuning into more peace by making joy a choice. Through listening to this podcast, you might create a lifelong glow up, just saying. It's time you start appreciating yourself more and date yourself. Trust your intuition, they said. Welcome back to the Date Yourself podcast. Happy New Year, you guys. 2024, it's here. I'm still not sure if 2023 was like a shit show or the best thing. So many things happened. But through it all, I'm just so happy and grateful that I have a really strong bond with my intuition, because my intuition definitely saved my ass a few times this year. So I want to tell you some of those stories about listening to my intuition. And also, how can you trust your intuition? Because the question that I get the most is like, how do you know if you can trust that voice, right? And what is your intuition, basically? So I'm going to answer those questions, and I'm going to get into some personal stories. But before I do that, I want to wish you a beautiful 2024. I truly hope that your biggest desires come true this year in even better ways than you can imagine right now. That it may be easy, fun, and you get to just love yourself a little bit more this year, because you deserve the best. So my 2023 was confusing some of the times, maybe most of the time. I met a few wonderful people, and I got a shout out from Jonathan Van Ness. I don't know if you know them. They're from Queer Eye, this Netflix show. I love Queer Eye, so I was just so pumped that he reposted my stories, but it was about which outfit I was going to choose for his stand-up show in Amsterdam. I decided to go there because I just got a full body yes to go to this event by myself, which I don't do often, but I really don't mind, as I am dating myself, right? Don't wait for someone else to take you out. Just go do the things that you want to do. And so this is already an example of following your intuition. So I had a full body yes. So my body was just telling me ooh, we're so excited. I know that that's my soul talking to me. Your soul is always guiding you towards what's best for you and what's going to give you the most growth. And so I decided to go, and I had been talking with my friend about joining a heels dance class, because I just think that that's so badass. And we danced before, when we were 13 or something. And we went to high school together, and then we lost touch. And then we became friends again. And we were we need to join a dance class again together, right? And so I was waiting for the show to start, but kind of awkwardly standing around because all the seats were taken with my drink. And I had to wait 30 minutes or so. So I was just awkwardly standing there. I was this is not how I want to spend my 30 minutes. And so I just walked towards a table and asked the girl who was already sitting there, can I maybe join you here? And she was yeah, absolutely. And we had, she called it our first blind date. We had just had a lovely conversation, and turns out that she was a dancer and she took dance classes with heels. Shout out to Blanche. And so she recommended this dance school to me and my friend, and we have been going ever since, and it's amazing. So that's one of the highlights, the shout out from Jonathan, and then meeting her, and then going to that dance school. Pretty fun. I also met other wonderful people, made new friends who are just soul sisters to me. And I've been on this mission to meet my people. And so 2023 is the year I'm so grateful that I've met so many people who do feel like family. And so that was definitely a highlight. I started Date Yourself, this podcast, which is growing and getting a lot of lovely feedback. So thank you so much. That's so exciting. Definitely a highlight of this year as well. I also changed jobs this year. I started a new position in January 2023, and then 3 months later, I quit because of obvious reasons, which I will get into a little bit. Because I definitely saved my ass in that situation. And then I got my dream job a few months later. So I started there in January and I was really excited. It seemed like all was well, and then I just started to feel off. My body is really clear in giving me signals that if things are not healthy for me, and so I was starting to feel panicky again. I used to go through panic attacks a few years back, and so that's when I know that I really need to pay attention. And I was not sure why I was feeling that way, but I just decided to listen. And I just quickly found out that that was not the right environment for me, but also some things just went kind of wrong in the beginning that kind of led up to disappointment later on. Don't want to get too much into it because like life happens. Don't want to blame anyone. But yeah, that happened. And then after I resigned, after I quit, I found out that my boss did not want to invest in me. And also that they did not hire anyone else for the position after I left. So I was kind of just like left feeling like, why was I even there, right? And so it was a good thing that I left prior to finding that out. After I quit, I found that out. And so I was like, yeah, okay. I now know like why I was feeling that way, right? And then I decided to wait until the right job came along. And this is something that my intuition told me to do. This is something that can be really scary for people. And so I also was pretty nervous about, like, it took a month for me, which is not that long actually, to like just be open to a better job offer to come through. And yeah, I just really needed to lean on my trust in my intuition and the universe with that. But I just strongly felt like if you're going to apply for a job now, it's not going to be the one that is going to be the best for you, right? And so I waited for a month, and then I still just loved that moment. Like, my mom's friend had emailed this job application to me, which was just exactly what I was looking for. Like, to the T. It was kind of crazy. And so now I have a better position with a better pay grade and more responsibility. And so it just kind of, all the puzzle pieces fell into place there. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy that I listened to my intuition there. And like, also with dating, some weird stuff happened. So I decided to date myself after these experiences, like, even more. Like, this is something that I decided to do a while back, where you just become the person that you really want to be, and that attracts the right person for you, right? If you put out there who you truly are, the right people can find you. I found this within my friends this year, so I truly believe that, like, in love, that's going to happen as well. I'm not that dating app kind of girl, like, nothing against it, by the way. Like, it's fun to just get to know people, right? And if it feels right, you can, like, it works for others. But I'm just more of the meeting in person kind of girl. And so, because then you just know the vibe, right? You could just feel more what that person is like. But that's my personal preference. And so I've just been dating myself. But then I also had some encounters with some guys. And like 2 times, someone lied to me, which was not that surprising to me because of my intuition. And so I was really careful, and I kind of could take myself out of a shit situation before it, like, got weird. It already was weird, by the way. If you lie to me, like, that's weird, right? Yeah, 2 times actually. Also not going to get more into that because that's 2023, right? Don't want to waste my energy on that anymore. But yeah, that was weird. But I'm really glad that I was like, something's off here. Let's just be careful and not, like, I don't know. Just be careful if your intuition is like, something's off here. It probably is, right? So that happened. So those are a few examples. So if you want to get started with trusting your intuition more, just think of the moments where you did already follow your intuition and, like, what was the result of that. I love comparing what happens when I listen to my intuition versus when I listen to my mind, and just kind of see what the differences are between when you make a decision from your mind or your intuition, and how it feels as well. So the decisions that you make from your mind are based on protecting yourself about what you should do or should be, right? Those shoulds. And it's probably also the opinion of someone else or the opinion of society. And then you have the intuition, which is the voice of your soul. The soul always wants to help you grow. And so growth happens outside the comfort zone. Yay! That is not something that the mind likes because, like I said, the mind wants to protect you, right? So following the voice of your intuition feels scary because of that. Because you intuitively know that if you are going to follow the voice of your intuition, that it's going to probably mean growth. But growth isn't a bad thing, right? When I decided to go to Jonathan Van Ness and I ran into the lovely girl and she recommended the dance school to me, like, there's no harm in that. I could have been like, no, it's too far away and I'm alone, and it was like pretty late when the show ended and so it's scary in Amsterdam. And sure, parts of those like reasons are true, but like I just felt this nudge of like, just go there. And then I got like that shout out from Jonathan Van Ness and I met that girl. And then I also found my dance school. Like, you don't know that that's going to happen. But that's growth. In my case, I got out of my comfort zone, which was growth. I got more engagement on Instagram. That was growth. I met a lovely person. And then I also found my dance school, which also helps me get out of my comfort zone, get a new skill, right? You cannot predict those things, but that's why I love to see what happens if I follow my intuition, right? And so I have so many more examples of this, but the thing that I want to get across here is just experiment with listening to your intuition and start small. For example, if you need to choose a dessert on the menu, just feel like where your attention goes and choose that. Like, be crazy. Take something like a little bit out there or a little bit different. Or maybe you usually do that and then you go for like vanilla whatever and it turns out to be the best thing, right? Or do you know, like, when you feel like you need to take another route, for example, if you go back from work, you go home and then you feel like, I should probably like take a left here instead of like going straight ahead or where I usually go right. And then later you find out that there was construction work done on like the route that you normally take and you just saved yourself a lot of time, right? So those kinds of things, just see what happens with small things and then build from there. And so I have now a pretty deep trust in that voice that I can like wait a month before I apply for another job because I have so many positive experiences with my intuition, right? And so that's how you build. And you also feel the difference between the voice of your intuition and the voice of your mind. The more that you start to practice with this, to like get still and listen to it. I decided to give away my freedom meditation to help you do this. It's called the Soul Vision meditation, where you get to hear the whispers of your soul, your intuitive voice through this meditation. You also visualize your desire, so what you really need, what you really want from life, because those shoulds of the outside world, right, of the ego, of protecting yourself, is usually not really what will make you happy, right? And so if we get to listen to our soul's voice, our intuition voice, we discover what lights us up and who we want to become, what we want to grow into, right? And so we're really excited for you to try this meditation. It's part of the Date Yourself bundle that also includes journal prompts to get to the root of why you are holding yourself back in some areas of your life for the self-love, and also an EFT tapping video. And EFT is one of my favorite tools to rewrite my own story, the story that I tell myself about what's possible for me, because the story that you tell yourself becomes a belief, and what you believe is kind of what you attract, what you will see reflected in your outer world, right? So that's a Date Yourself guide where you also get that meditation to really get to build a relationship with your intuition, to really listen and hear what it's like to listen to that voice, what it sounds like, right? And your soul's answers are so interesting. It truly just still blows my mind if I follow my intuition. Sometimes it simplifies things. Your intuition is just like, let's make it simple. what is really happening here, what is it that we want, how can we grow the most, right? So that is why I love listening to my intuition. It just makes me feel more at peace. Your soul voice is really loving, really caring. It doesn't demand anything from you. It just wants you to be the happiest person that you can be. And so that might require stepping out of your comfort zone of that, or that just means that you need healing around something. And that's also what it will show you. If you decide that you want something better, if you're ready to heal yourself from what has been holding you back, or a trauma, or just kind of the things that are weighing heavy on you, or you just want change but you don't really know like how to change or what to do, your intuition is there to help you, to guide you, and to help you heal. I also give a lot of coaching around intuition because it just gives the power back to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to guide you back to your own truth, because I believe that everyone knows what they need and what their next steps are. It's just that we sometimes need to create the space to hear it and to get honest with ourselves, and then to really implement it. Because we can like kind of know or feel, but how do we make it work, right? And that's how I can help you to figure that out, looking at those underlying patterns. And so healing starts with being curious and compassionate to what those underlying patterns are, like those beliefs and why you feel a certain way, or like what the pattern is that keeps repeating itself, that is kind of making you go crazy. And then to like figure out like why you still need that, or why you keep holding on to stuff, or how you can let go and step into this more happier version of yourself, your favorite self, and to work towards who you want to become, right? And your soul knows how to, your soul also knows who that is. And so I hope that you have fun listening to the Soul Vision meditation, which you can find in the Date Yourself guide. Also really hope that this conversation was helpful for you to understand intuition. I'm also a psychic medium. That is a whole other story, because then you get into spirit guides, like mediumship is like a whole thing as well, right? If that's something that is interesting to you, like let me know. I would love to know if you want me to make a separate episode for that, to talk about spirit guides, psychic mediumship, because like I said, that's a whole nother story. So if that's interesting to you, please DM me, let me know. I love to talk to you over on Instagram anyways, so let me know. Are you excited to listen to your intuition more and experiment with it? If you do, also let me know your experiences, if something like amazing or exciting or unexpected happens. I'd love to hear your stories. Love you so much. Speak to you soon. Bye.